Welcome, everybody, to the backstage interview after the October MIF conference. Today, I have with me Mike and Bob from Golden Lake Exploration. And the reason Golden Lake came across my screen was because they had an incredibly low market cap of around $7 million for what I thought was a property with a great shot and a great trend in Nevada. And since then, they picked up another asset in British Columbia, right beside Kodiak Copper, where they've had a copper discovery, and that stock's gone from 40 cents to $3.50 in a very short period of time. So now got two shots at a big discovery in the very near term, i.e. the next 6 to 9 months, on just a 7 million market cap company. So with me is Mike England and Bob Weicker. And so, Mike, what you want to tell me a little bit about this Nevada asset, and you and Bob maybe explain what you originally saw in it. And we have had our first round of drilling back, so give us maybe a bit of a synopsis of how that went as well.
Bob found the project about a year ago, or just over a year ago. It took us a bit to actually negotiate it and get it into the company. And Bob, you've known about this project for quite some time, I think.
Yeah, the original owners of the project, the group in Toronto, I've known them for, I guess, a couple of decades, I suppose, and this project probably for about 10 years. I knew they had largely gotten out of the business and weren't really active in the exploration business. And it fit a lot of my parameters. I was looking for a project that had above average grade potential, was oxide. This, as it turns out, was Carlin style mineralization. That was a bonus. I'm not married to Carlin style, but I do like it. And it was in an old producing district, well-known district, with a lot of production, both historically, fairly recently, and then ongoing as well. So there's a lot of activity. So it ticked off a lot of the boxes that I was looking for.
Okay. And so you guys have done your first round of drilling. You want to give us a quick synopsis on some of the highlights that you guys found from there?
We drilled in two areas. One at the south end of the property called the Hamburg Mine. That's an old producing carbonate replacement type of deposit. That's what the town of Eureka was basically founded on. Oxide carbonate replacement with high values in silver, lead at that time, and gold. Lead in the 1800s was a very important metal and valued, but the silver became more, of course, in the Comstock era, became very important. Eureka was second to the Comstock in Virginia City as far as a boom town and silver producer. But the Hamburg was a former producer, but it also had Carlin style oxide mineralization. And we put 3 holes into the Hamburg. We got some good shallow intercepts to follow up on. The surprising thing, I guess, at Hamburg was on the deeper holes, and our holes went down over 600 feet, which is on this property is deep. And we got some very broad zones of low-grade mineralization. We had a zone of I think it was about 69 meters of 0.44 grams per ton. That was a surprise for us. That's an area that needs a lot more work and a lot more follow-up. Those are the only 2 drill holes in that area at that depth, too. So, I mean, that's encouraging for us. We had 3 holes at Hamburg, and then we went to the South Eureka Tunnel, which is towards the north end of the property. We put 6 or 7 holes in there, I guess. 7 holes. 7 holes. We have 3 of those holes back. We still have 4 holes in the assay lab. And we did hit what we feel is the historic South Eureka oxide zone. We got a very good intercept, 23 meters of 2.8 grams per ton. So some of the holes we had difficulty with the drilling, with the recovery. This was an RC program. One of the things we're doing now is finishing off really the phase 1 part of this drill program with a core rig that's on the property right now, and will be starting up very soon. And we'll be deepening some of the holes, and also where we've had recovery problems, we'll be drilling those holes to kind of recover what we didn't get on the first pass. So overall, we're pretty happy with the way the program went. We did have as we somewhat anticipated, some drilling problems, but now we're going to try it with core and see if that can help solve some of the problems.
So when you look at the other mines in that trend, you want to just give us what kind of style of mineralization is? Are they open pit? Are they underground? What's the average grade? And by definition, and kind of extrapolate that and say what would success be for you guys?
Yeah, the big pit operation was the Archimedes pits to the north of us. They were started by Homestake. Homestake took over, or was taken over by Barrick, and they were completed by Barrick. They're owned by Waterton now. The grade in that open pit, I think, was a bit over 1 gram per ton. That was oxide Carlin style mineralization. The nearest producer to us right now is the Gold Bar property of McEwen Mining to the northwest of us. The grade at that operation is about 1 gram per ton as well. Okay, so so grades of 1 gram per ton are very profitable in an oxide heap leach situation. Grades of 1.5 grams to 2 grams are very, very much profitable. So, and that's kind of the grade we're trying to target here, is a grade between 1.5 and 2 grams per ton.
Right. And so now you're back drilling almost right away. So you want to give us I'm not sure if that's in the public domain or what, but whatever you're allowed to tell us about your upcoming drill program would be great.
Yeah. Well, it's really the finish, the completion of what we had planned. Because of some of the problems we had with the RC rig, and then also because of scheduling, the guys had to basically end the program before we got to all of our drill sites. The hole that they're starting out on was a proposed site, and that's an angle hole going right in from the South Eureka tunnel. That'll test both near surface. It'll test the oxide Carlin style mineralization, and then eventually it's going to go in and test some of the carbonate replacement style mineralization as well. We're hoping that we can get that hole down about 800 feet is the plans on that hole, and then the other holes basically follow that in that same area. We're not. We figure we have about 2.5 months of drilling time for the core rig, and then we're going to stay in the South Eureka area for most of those holes.
2.5 months or 1.5 months?
1.5 months.
1.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do want to talk about Copperview in BC, right beside. Go ahead, but quickly, how many holes will there be? Are there still left to be reported from today? Once your program's all done, you got a few holes from the first program still to be reported, and a number of holes from the second program. How many holes total is that going to be?
Well, there's 4 holes in the assay lab, and they've been in there for quite some time, and we should get those shortly from the original RC program. And then out of this program, we're going to have 4 to 6 holes as well. These are longer holes, of course, but we should have those into the assay lab by the end of November, and then they'll come out, I suppose, in December or January.
Okay, so lots of steady news between now and the end of January. So we've only got a short time left. So Copperview, right beside Kodiak, obviously that's a great discovery. Teck came in and put $10 million in their kitty. Tell me where you're at on that property and what you're going to be doing here in the next few months.
Since we've acquired it fairly recently, we've sent an initial reconnaissance team out to find some of the minfowl occurrences and prospects, and then also do more prospecting as well. They finished up, I think I'm going to say about 8 days ago. Those assays are in the lab now. We did find some showings that we're encouraged by. We are getting a quote on a ZTEM geophysical program. ZTEM is specifically designed for porphyries. They market that they can see down 1,000 meters, and ZTEM has been important on the Kodiak property as well. So we'll be flying a ZTEM program over our property this November, and our field crews are coming back at the end of October, and we'll be going back up to the property as well. So our property is, if you look on the map, it surrounds Kodiak, but the size of it is quite large. So to get from the east side to the west side, it takes a little bit of doing. and we have a lot of ground to cover. So on the initial reconnaissance, we prospected the west side and the north side. We still have the east side to do.
Right, and that's a big part of the property.
It is a big part, yeah.
Okay. Guys, we're all out of time. Thank you so much for making the time today. God bless you, and look forward to your next set of results coming out.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Keith.
Thanks a lot, Keith.